I'm Tara Bush. Nice to see everyone. Glad you're here. And we have today Ashley, Martina, and Nancy. They are all students in my classes who I either have right now or have had in the past. And um, they just have good opinions to share, I think, about this, and they've had experiences with it. And I specifically selected people that are I would say like you guys are all good students, of course, but you're different levels of like extroversion and you're diverse. So I think that's important, not just all the people in classes that are the ones talking all the time or the ones that are quiet all the time. I wanted diverse opinions from a variety of students who have different needs. So that's who they are, and you guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves a little more if you would like to. Just say, I don't know, your major, maybe where you are in your education right now.
Do you want me to start?
Sure.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Nancy. I am a psychology major. This is actually my last semester. I'm planning on applying for PA school in April. So that's that.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Martina Glenn. I am a senior. I am a major in psychology and I minor in Spanish. Yeah, that's about it.
Hi, and my name is Ashley Eagledan. I am an elementary education major with a concentration in sociology, and I am a junior. And yeah, I mean, even though I'm not in the the psychology department, I originally wanted psychology to be my concentration, but even though it is not my concentration right now, I do still follow a lot of psychology things and still I just have a curiosity, so I just check things out myself, even though I'm not in the major.
Yeah. And this session is not like psychology specific. It just happened to be that those are the students I had access to, but I thought we were going to have some others from a few more departments, but I guess that's not so much the case. So sorry for slight false advertising there for any of our other people who are joining. But I think the things the students will have to say will probably be applicable across discipline anyhow. But the first question, I have some pre-prepared questions, and you guys can answer. Don't feel like you have to answer every question. Again, if you don't have much to say about it or if it's already been covered, we can just move on to the next. And then we'll open it up in probably like the second half for people to just ask questions that they have. But first, I wanted to ask just what has most facilitated or helped your learning in online and hybrid courses so far? And you can talk about the spring or this semester or previous experiences, anything that has helped you. So open up whoever wants to go first.
Okay, I'll start. So right now, with all of my classes, I have a mixture of kind of all of them. I have some online, some hybrid, and some that are still full face-to-face. Um, I would say that the hybrid course would be my favorite because it gives me more lecture time and it gives me a more personal feel and we can actually have discussions. Whereas with my online class, it's just discussion boards and it's just mainly assignments and sometimes there isn't even lectures. So I really with being able to have that classroom time, it helps me learn a little bit better and be able to apply it at home when I'm doing it on my own.
Okay, so for me, I am really liking the online courses so far. Yes, it's a lot because I'm taking 6 classes and just trying to keep up with all the different assignments and the constant amount of emails and stuff like that is a little bit difficult, but it has been really helpful having discussion boards, especially since I'm from like a city area, so coming down to Pembroke and being able to see other people's perspective in the discussion boards from, the sociology department or the education department is all insightful because regardless of where somebody's coming from, I'm able to get information from them and to see, how their experiences are, and I'm able to eventually take that to wherever I'm going to be going. Online classes are a little bit more difficult just because I do like that connection with my teacher, being able to ask a question just like automatically right in the classroom, just raise my hand. But with online classes, every now and then some teachers are quicker with responding, or they have more than just 1 or 2 days of office hours, WebEx hours and stuff like that. So it's an adjustment, but I'm adaptable. So yeah.
Um, I think I agree with what they mostly said. Like I'm a fan of both of the hybrid and the online courses. I think that whenever like the instructors have like their PowerPoint that they would usually present in lecture and then they do the screen recording and talk in the background with it, I feel like I really like that because I can pause it and still take my notes, and it really feels like I'm still sitting in the classroom and I'm still getting all the information I need. I probably do like hybrid a little bit better just because of what they said. Like I know I will at least meet up once with the instructor, and if I have any questions or anything, I'll still like will be able to get that information.
All right, cool. Thank you, guys. How about now kind of switching to the other side of that, out of what's most facilitated, but what has most hindered your learning in online or hybrid courses, or what's been kind of some of the more challenging things you don't like?
So with the online classes, like I said, it's mostly like I feel like I'm teaching myself. So it's kind of challenging when it's something I don't understand and I try to reach out to the professor, ask them they
Oh, you're cutting out just a little bit. Uh-oh. I think that's something we hear a lot, that students definitely feel like they're teaching themselves. Ashley or Nancy, do you want to jump in and talk about some of the things you have come across while we're waiting for Martina to come back in?
Sure. I mean, luckily for me, I've really had really good supportive teachers that really have been able to adjust to all of this, because all of us are kind of like juggling everything, a little bit struggling with it all. I really can't complain. Like at the beginning of the semester, I was really disheartened because I really rather be in the classroom, and just because you're able to have that interaction, able to hear everyone's responses like in real time and stuff like that. But like all my professors have been great with responding back to emails. Just like preference wise, I would so much more prefer having a seated class, just because in the seated classes you get more of a reminder of things that are due, like the next day or the next week and stuff like that. And I feel better, a little bit better with that consistency also. And yeah, that's about it.
Like I haven't had like a problem with like as far as the communication with my instructors. They're usually pretty good with getting back to me. The only problem that I've run into is like most of my online courses, they have exams, and I'm not sure like they tell us it's like open book or open notes or something. And I've had a problem where like I've had like a test that's 50 questions and I only have like 45 minutes to complete it. And I feel like even though I know my material, that just doesn't allow me enough time to even be able to use my notes. Like I think like it takes just a minute to like read the question and read the answer choices. And I feel like that's kind of affected me a little bit because like in another class, I have a test and it's usually 100 questions and she gives 75 minutes. So I feel like if I get stuck on 1 or 2 questions, that just kind of affects the rest of my exam. And it might reflect that I haven't learned the information when I really have studied. It's just kind of like the time kind of took a little bit of a toll on me. That's kind of like the only thing that I've.
And do you feel that
No, I don't feel that way. When in the classroom, I don't think I've ever taken a test where like, usually when I have a test in the classrooms, it's usually just a test for that day. And whenever we're done taking it, we get to leave. So I feel like I'm not feeling rushed or anything. But when I'm constantly seeing the clock and like, I already know that I'm going to have less than a minute to do every question, like, I don't know, I just kind of feel some type of way about it.
So it seems a lot, even though the time period might be the same and the test might be the same online or in person?
Yeah.
Sorry, Martina, you got a little bit cut off there. Do you want to finish what you were saying?
I'm still having some slight difficulties. Hold on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. But I was just talking about, I don't know where it stopped, but first I was talking about the online classes.
You were saying how you felt like you kind of had to teach yourself.
Yes.
And communication could be a little tricky sometimes when you have to wait like days for them to get back instead of in real time.
Yes, I felt like that was definitely an issue. So mainly it falls down to communication. And then the other issue that I had was that in the semester, it was a lot of issues with informing us about students who had COVID-19, because I actually went to classrooms a couple of times and was already learning and everything, and it was interrupted by department chairs to tell us we would have to leave for cleaning, and that at least happened at least 5 times.
Wow.
But it's starting to get a little bit better, so that was a big issue for me.
Was there anything else at all that you guys wanted to share that is kind of hindering your learning? No? Okay. Or
I do agree with what you're saying. Like in the beginning of the semester, the school didn't like. I mean, everybody had like some type of built-up anxiety about coming back to school, especially with the virus and everything like that. And then also as like women of color and people of color and stuff like that, with everything that had happened off campus also. So like there was just a cycle of anxiety going on, and I feel like some people in administration really didn't talk about certain things, like really like have a deep conversation about things that are going on off campus or on campus. And I mean, even though I'm an older student, like my mom was very weary about me coming back to school, not only just because of the virus, because like there was news reports about going on, like the protesting and stuff like that. So just like feeling safe I wasn't really feeling safe at the beginning of the semester whatsoever. And then like I at first, like the beginning of the semester also, like I wasn't sure like what was going on with my class schedule, like if it was going to be hybrid or if it was going to be seated or if it was going to be all online. And then I was getting like I said, I'm in 6 classes, so I'm getting so many emails from so many of my different teachers and stuff like that telling me, okay, so right now it's hybrid, and then right now it might be online. But I'm just like, I don't need a might. I need to know. And I understand that everybody's adjusting, but I work in Raleigh. So if I was going to change my work schedule, I needed to know something, and I just didn't have anything concrete at the time. And now I'm working full time and taking 6 classes at the same time. So yeah, that's about it.
That is crazy. So our next question is, what would you like to see more or less of in future online or hybrid courses, like for this upcoming semester? I think I'm sensing themes from you guys that maybe, I mean, I'll let you speak for yourselves, but definitely like communication. It sounds like you want to know what's going to happen. As part of that, obviously, this semester was that we didn't even know as instructors, that we were telling, most of us anyways, I think we're telling our students what we knew as soon as we knew it, but we just weren't hearing from administration. So I hope that is better this semester. But what else would you like to see more of, or would you like to see less of in your online or hybrid classes?
Well, I would just like to see more interaction within like the online classes. Like if more professors could do like lectures or YouTube pages, something like that, or interactive activities that we could do, make it feel like we're in a classroom, even though we might be, in different states and different cities, make it feel like we're all learning, we're all going towards the same goal,
And like I said before, like I've been very, very lucky with all my professors. They have been fantastic over in the education department. But I really enjoy the discussion boards. Like even though sometimes it can be a little bit heavy with, like if we were to have like 4 or 5 discussion boards for one class within a week or something like that, that would be really excessive and really heavy depending on the workload that the rest of the students have for all their other classes and stuff. But I really do appreciate the discussion boards because that makes it feel like we actually do have a classroom discussion. And like, even though some of my teachers just like, oh, you have to respond back to 3 of your classmates, I'm like, man, I just want to respond back to 1, just get it done with. But it's really helpful because I'm actually still interacting with my classmates and I'm able to see different perspectives. And we still do have really like interactive activities that we have to do, or like projects that we have to present in class or even online, and that's still really, really helpful too. That makes it feel like a close like atmosphere, and like a very safe environment to share anything that we have to do in class.
Okay, as a side question from that discussion, are you guys actually reading, like, you can be honest, even if you have me, are you actually reading other people's discussions, or not like their posts, everyone? Are you reading the whole discussion? Or when you get your post done, are you never looking at that discussion again? You read enough to comment on someone else's, or are you genuinely reading them all? This is good feedback for us to really know.
I would
it
actually,
depends
oh,
on the post. If it's a good discussion and I'm actually interested, I will read the entire discussion. But if it's something I'm not really that interested in, or if I know the students really didn't put that much time or input, do my discussion and
I can say something if you want me to, or she connects back. Actually, whenever she was talking about the discussion boards, I was actually gonna say the opposite. Like, truly, if I'm being honest, like with all the like courses that I'm taking and everything, I just feel like at this point it's starting to feel like just meeting deadlines and keep it moving. And like, I really don't take the time to read others' discussions except for when I'm answering. Like, for example, like in your class, like we do get to meet up and we have discussion. Yeah, I learn a lot from being in the class and discussing with each other, but I feel like we don't get the same like in discussion boards. Like, I feel like everybody is just trying to meet like a word limit and just trying to put something down, and it's not in depth as if they like decide to speak up in the classroom.
I don't read everybody's discussions. I have a few friends in the class, in certain classes of mine, that I'll read their posts just to get a little bit more insight about them also. And then I'll read like a few other people that I have like complete like opposite opinions with also, just to get like a broader perspective of different like just opinions in general. But I don't think I've ever read through the entire discussion board. Like you said, we kind of are we're told to respond back to 1 through 3 people or something like that, and that's what I typically do. And throughout the semester, I've been trying to give more meaningful responses back to people, but at the same time, like I said, I have a lot on my plate, so yeah.
That makes sense. So someone, I think this is pertinent to ask now from the chat, would a synchronous session with a discussion then be better if you were in an online class? Like if you're not having a face-to-face class that week, do you think you guys would prefer just having a synchronous online session rather than having to post to a discussion board? Or do you like are you getting something out of the discussions anyhow and you like having it kind of on your free time?
I kind of do like having it on my free time just because like the professor will usually leave it open for a week, and that gives me time, every now, because I get like alerts through my email also saying like, oh, someone has posted on whatever discussion board. So every now and then I'm just like going through my emails, and I might not read that entire post. I might just read like a little segment of what I see in the email. So I am still seeing like what people are posting, and if I post, if it opens on Sunday and it closes on Tuesday, I go back on Tuesday to respond back to somebody else's response anyway. So, yeah, I like the discussion boards.
I think I'm the opposite. I would prefer the synchronized meeting. I think I just get more from it.
Tiebreaker, Martina.
I actually was having connection issues.
Oh, okay. I was asking if you, because we were kind of talking about, Ashley was saying she likes the discussion boards. Nancy was saying she doesn't really read them all. Like you were telling us, you read it if it's interesting. Ashley says she doesn't really read all of them, but she reads some, but more than not. And then somebody in the chat had asked, would you prefer just a synchronous session with a discussion rather than a discussion board?
I think I would stick to the discussion boards because even though, there's some that's not interesting, of course, all of them aren't going to be that interesting. You're still learning at the end of the day. But in a couple of my other classes, of course, in my adult development psychology class, the way he makes his discussion boards, they're actually very, very interesting. So I would hate if he were to take them down if people said they didn't like them. So I would keep the discussion boards.
All right, good to know. So the next question I want to ask is if are any of your professors making some kind of assumptions about, I don't know, things like that you want or you don't, or just making incorrect assumptions in general, if at all?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Okay, and it looks like we've lost Ashley here for a second. Yeah, and one of our questions in the chat was about connectivity issues, so we'll talk about that because that does seem to be an issue, obviously. Okay, how are you guys handling the workload in your online classes or your hybrid classes, and what are your professors doing to help you handle it or manage it?
So juggling all of my classes, since they're all different basically class types, is kind of challenging because some days I meet certain classes on Mondays, other classes I meet on Wednesdays, and then with making sure my time, it is difficult, but most teachers have tried to make a calendar on Canvas and upload the assignments there to try and help me with my schedule. So that's been kind of helpful, but I'm still trying to manage it the best I can. So I'm still adjusting.
I feel like this year, as opposed to when it was just face to face, instructors have been a lot more specific and been a lot better about giving us that task schedule from the very beginning and trying to make as minimal changes as possible. And I really like that because I'm a person that has to even though Canvas will remind you of when your assignments are due, kind of a person that likes to have it all in front. So all of my instructors have done that, and some instructors have opened up so that you can move at your own pace for the whole year, which I kind of like that because there's days that I am able to get ahead more than others. I feel like it balances each other out. And I have also one face to face. So we have meetings, it's capstone. So we have meetings. She's very flexible about if for example, I commute close to 2 hours. Only one I have on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we're at the point where we do meetings. She's good about hey, we'll do Wednesday instead. So they've been I feel more flexible and more understanding when they would help with something. But I feel yeah.
Okay, good to know. So what have professors done, if anything, to help you stay on track and stay accountable in your online and hybrid courses? So when you're not really meeting face to face as much, are they doing something that helps you kind of stay accountable?
I have noticed with the Canvas assignments, they're locking them and have more lock dates. Well, because before it would like stay open and you submit things late, but now I believe that they're more strict to uploading things on time with closing the assignment date.
Mine are kind of like the opposite. Some of them have been pretty lenient. Like I have turned in like work, and they've been okay with. They'll still take it. I mean, I'll still have like maybe a couple points taken off, but they'll take like work still.
Do you feel like for either of you, accountability has been an issue? And do we have Ashley back with us now? I'm not sure. But yeah, just I guess if accountability, has that been something where that kind of comes up a lot in when we talk about designing online courses, especially is that students who aren't really self-motivated and stuff, that they have a hard time staying accountable when they're not coming to class. So to really be online and be completing that work, has that been something that you guys have experienced any issues with, or that your professors have done other things to help you overcome that if you have?
Yes, with staying accountable, it has been a little difficult with certain classes, but with like, for example, your health psychology class, it kind of makes me, stay accountable because we'll have an assignment, but the following class will be talking about that assignment and applying it to certain things. So it kind of makes me stay on track, even though it's not fully in person. But to know we're meeting up on Monday, it basically makes me do my work.
Honestly, I don't really think so. I think, and I take like a variety of classes. So like I'm taking like chemistry, biology, psychology classes, and I don't think they might send like an extra couple of emails like, "Hey guys, remember that this is due such and such date and stuff." But I don't really think anything besides that. But then again, like I pretty much self-motivate myself to do it, so like it hasn't impacted me in any way. But like maybe someone that's having a little bit hard time, that might be something they could improve on.
Okay, I made it back. Sorry.
Yay. Okay, this seems like a perfect time to segue into talking about one of our questions from the chat about connection issues.
There you
So
go.
what did someone say? Have the students had connectivity issues with hybrid classes, trouble connecting to the class sessions from remote locations due to their phone or internet service?
Yes, I've had a lot of issues with connection. First, I took a summer class. It was a Spanish class. So, of course, it requires a lot of talking. So, a lot of days we would have to stop because someone's connection wouldn't work, or we'll be presenting a PowerPoint and they can't hear us, or they can't fully understand what we're saying because of the connection. And of course, with a language class, you need to properly hear what the professor is saying or what the other classmates are saying. So that was really difficult. And since that was so hard, he did have to make that a face-to-face class. So I feel that with the connection, it is kind of hard to do certain classes.
This is actually the first time I've had a connection problem, so far not bad. I know with one of my classes, it's optional if you come to class. So if you want to come into class, if you feel safe coming to class, you can. You know, the class, anybody tries to uh, the webinar side, there's comes And then
And you're cutting out a little bit again right now.
Oh,
Oh, now it seems like you're back. Okay.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. But I guess we're having connection problems because I have to disconnect from the school's Wi-Fi. I tried a different part of the school Wi-Fi, and now I'm just on a hotspot on my phone. So, yeah,
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
it's okay.
So, yeah. Does anybody else have questions regarding, you can just pop in and ask your question regarding like that issue of connectivity or what students are doing to get over it or anything like that? All right. Well, we had somebody else ask, what are you guys' preferences for synchronous versus asynchronous scheduling? So doing it on your own pace versus you all meet, like if it's a hybrid course, but you're meeting online one day at a certain time, or even if it's an online course, would you rather just do all your stuff on your own time, or do you like that meeting at the same time?
I actually like having a structured time. I like having a time throughout the week, submit it at whatever time is, convenient for us up until that due date.
I really would prefer to have, like, if we're gonna be all online, that meetings online and stuff like that. Like, giving stuff to my own devices is not going to be any good. That's why I typically never take online classes, just like sign up by myself. Can you also still hear? Okay, sorry, a few people are frozen, but yeah, I definitely need to have a class that has like a structured date and time and stuff like that, and my teacher kind of sticks with it also because I need that consistency. I don't want to be left in the dark.
I think I agree with them.
Okay, awesome. So we had another question then. I would like to know whether students who prefer hybrid for the face-to-face contact have had synchronous WebEx meetings, or they might like them. So have you had online or hybrid classes where you're having those synchronous meetings, or are you just meeting the face-to-face in the classroom?
So for one of the classes, it's a Tuesday, Thursday class. Tuesdays we're always supposed to be like seated or online, but Thursdays, it's just we don't really have like the actual like set structured class. But every now and then my teacher will be like, okay, but we actually do still need to meet up on a Thursday because that is still our scheduled time and stuff like that. And that has been perfect. Like she'll be like, hey, we have to have a meeting on Thursday, so everyone come in on WebEx and we'll do a meeting on Thursday. But then I have some teachers that are strictly online, and I've not met them yet, which is unfortunate because the classes that I'm taking with those teachers are super interesting, and I'm really invested in those classes, and it just kind of it's a little disappointing that we just can't have like a little round table and have discussions like that.
This semester, I have like one face-to-face and then one hybrid course, but I do have other online classes and stuff, and we don't have any meetings at all, like for any of them.
Is that something that you would like to have?
For my organic chemistry class, she lets you sign. She gives us the option to like sign on at once to like if you have any questions. But usually that person for me, the time that one time doesn't work. But for the other ones, so far, I would like it, but I don't think it would be quite necessary for the class I'm taking now. But maybe other classes, like if it was taking more psychology classes and was like more discussion and stuff like that, I probably would want that.
So for my online class, we don't have any scheduled meeting times, But of course, for my hybrid classes, we come one day out of the week. And then my full face-to-face classes, we come Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesdays and Thursdays, depending on what class it is. But I don't think I would, wait. Yeah, I don't think I would really want the classes I'm in now. Can you guys still hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. You guys were freezing. But I would want the classes that I'm in now for online to have some type of at least once a week meetup so we can talk, or like the professor have scheduled meeting times, I guess, like how advisors would do, like send out an email or something to say, hey, today I would like to have meetings so we can talk about our paper that's coming up. We can have some questions, have a layout. Some sort of meeting would be good, I think.
Okay, the next question that somebody had is, what kind of written feedback do you like or do you want from your professors?
Whenever we have to turn in like an essay or some type of just written assignment, they'll have like their little comments on the side, maybe on each paragraph or wherever there was an error or wherever there was just like a miscommunication of direction. They'll just say like, hey, I see that you had a problem in this section, if you have any other questions, here's an example of what I actually wanted. Or even on Canvas in just like the little comment section, even after I just respond back to a discussion board, I have one teacher has been fantastic in the sociology department about just saying like, oh, I didn't think about that perspective. I really find your perspective interesting about, whatever topic. Like she actually gives like really encouraging you can tell that she actually read through the discussion board, just didn't say good job, thank you for completing it. That actually gave me like thought out, like you can tell that she read my discussion board, and she told me things from my own writing that she from it, so I actually know that she read it. So I really do appreciate that type of feedback.
I mean, I like receiving like feedback too. Usually, just from like what I would want, I have had professors be that way too. Like they go above and beyond, or some that don't give any at all. I do want at least something, but like if it's like of a grade of 100, anything, I mean, I just feel like that comes to understanding that I did good in the assignment. So I really not for much feedback. But if it's like a grade like below like 70 or 60 or something, maybe yeah, like she said, right on the side, like what exactly did I go wrong, just for my future references for the assignments coming up the following weeks.
So with what they have said, I have seen that as an issue, to where I would get certain comments on things and wouldn't really understand what they mean. So going back to my previous comment with having those meeting times, it would be helpful, after we submit those essays and after they're graded, we can sit and have a discussion about the grades or how I can improve it or what you exactly meant, because some people don't really typically understand. If it's just written out, be like, I still don't understand, what does she mean? So actually being there and being able to be verbal about it would really help.
I guess kind of jumping off that last thing that Martina said, then do you guys feel comfortable or not so much just utilizing your professor's office hours when they have them to ask for more feedback or questions you have about feedback they may have left?
So typically I do use the office hours depending on the professor, if I feel comfortable with them or if I have that relationship with them. But sometimes as a response, if I'm asking, for deeper clarification, I'll get, some type of harsh response, or like, did you not read it? Why didn't you understand it? So it'll kind of make me not want to go back to that professor to ask questions. So that's kind of an issue. Yeah.
for me, I have 3 professors, and I kind of know them all. I know all of them pretty well already. You know, all my professors, at least 2 of my professors gave out like their cell phone number, and so it's just like, hey, you know, text me if you need me. Just give us, you know, a few days if you don't hear back from me. So I would say like they've been fantastic with, you know, just accommodating all of us and stuff like that. And especially in the education department, you kind of know everybody after a while. It's a smaller department, and a lot of the teachers teach a lot of the courses and stuff like that. So I have felt comfortable talking to all my professors. It's open door policy, you know, even though we're online and stuff like that. And my sociology professor that I have has been fantastic with communication. Like, I have to say, like, I know there's probably people that have had problems, you know, communicating with their professors, but I've had a great experience so far. And it might just be because I have, you know, smaller classroom sizes too. I don't know.
I've never like really have, if I'm being honest, used like my instructor's office hours. Usually if I like run into a problem, I just shoot them an email, and usually over email we can discuss it. But a lot of the hours sometimes will not work with my schedule, but my instructors have like always been good, like about saying like if office hours don't work for you, then let me know about time and date and we can get together at that time. So
Okay, somebody else wanted to know if any of your teachers or your professors this semester use Perusal.
No.
Okay, from my understanding, it's like a software where you engage with your material through, like you'll put comments on it. It makes your, like your textbook or whatever you're supposed to be reading or video you're watching, like you can comment on it and like highlight different things, but it's interactive with the whole class. So maybe like one person writes a comment and then other people can respond to it, or says, oh, I didn't know that. You have to like engage with it. So yeah. Somebody else was wanting to know, what's the one thing you most want faculty not to do next semester?
Hold multiple classes a week with over 28 students.
I don't want, if it's going to be like a solely all online class, I don't want them to not introduce themselves throughout like a WebEx or something, because I just had a conversation with one of my professors, and this is my first time meeting her. Great conversation and everything, but I've never met her throughout the rest of the semester, and I was just like, oh, I didn't even know who you were. So I would love to actually have some type of communication. And yeah, that's about it.
I think one thing would be I have like a couple of my instructors, like we're like a little bit over the middle of the semester, and I haven't seen any grades or any feedback from my classes. So I've run into that problem before too. Like, I guess it's because it's set up where like at the beginning of semesters, like this assignment is not due till September 27th or something, but it'll be like a lot of assignments, or like just assignments we did at the beginning of the semester, like they won't be grading, we don't have any feedback, and I'm just kind of like, well, I'm keep submitting assignments, but I don't want it to get to the point where like I've understood the thing the wrong way, and I'm not passing the course because I didn't receive like the feedback that I need in a timely manner, if that makes any sense.
I am shocked and deeply angry about that. I think that is something that you maybe want to consider talking to the department chair of that department about, and how it's concerning and all that. Because wow, I have something that I haven't graded. It's for health, and for personality. You guys just turned in something yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I haven't graded it yet. I'm like, I try to be so on it, but so that makes me so sad for you. Okay, anyways, the next question is, how did you learn to use Canvas? the context is someone had created videos and announced, like using the announcement tool, the process to students, and they still have students who go they only look at the to-do list or the discussions or the assignments, and they miss kind of the conceptual knowledge provided in the modules. And this person said, if I can convince them to meet me online, we get past that. So how do you guys become familiar with using Canvas?
Well, with this semester, I've actually made a lot of adjustments with using Canvas, and I've learned a lot because I didn't know like certain things like the pages or the modules. So I don't know, you just really have to watch the videos and just adapt to it and just keep using it to get better used to it, because every class I've learned really does upload like assignments and everything different. Some classes, your assignments will upload into your calendar. Some will be in your to-do list and won't be in your calendar. So it just depends really. And it's very easy to miss assignments. So you just have to be careful of it.
I've kind of always just navigated myself. Like, I know there's like instruction videos on, but I'm kind of more like been pushing this and pushing that. And I've just kind of learned, like taught myself just how to navigate through the whole Canvas thing.
When I first came over to Pembroke, there was just like one giant introduction video about Canvas, and that's just where I learned it. And then every now and then, some of my professors will have problems on Canvas or like technological issues in their classroom. So somebody will come down and the professor how to do it or something, and then that helps me out too. And then, you know, like I'm sorry, Nancy said also, I just poke around on things every now and then. Like if I'm just, you know, waiting for something to load, I'll just like, oh, what's this, what's that, what's this, what's that, and I figure it out.
Does anyone have a personal preference for, do they like it if all the material shows up like on one page? Do they like it in the quiz section, in the modules, like, or only in the assignments, like, or in an announcement? Like, where do you prefer that stuff is or isn't, I guess?
If you can give me everything, oh, sorry. If you can give me everything on the calendar and on the to-do list, I love that. Like I absolutely, because I know like with the calendar, I think you can sync it up with like your Google calendar also. So I've been able to do that. I've just like give me everything on the calendar and everything's color coordinated with a little chart at the bottom. Perfect. I absolutely love that like little thing on there, the calendar. And you know, I do like the way it's organized also. Like if it has your modules or if it has like, I'm not sure what the teachers or professors can see on your side, like if you can do like, oh, here are your PowerPoints, because I know there's something called like files. You can have like the file one, all this other type of stuff, but if you can put everything in the calendars and the to-do list, amazing.
For me, it would be the modules, because I feel like with the modules, it's very detailed and it gives you explanation that it doesn't in like the to-do list. So I feel like it's very helpful. Also, it gives like the learning objectives and all of that. So at the end of the day, it just keeps it really neat and organized. And you can see like all of your assignments that's due for the week instead of, you know, just saying which assignment is due for that day or for that week. So, and then most of my professors that actually use the modules, they have all of the modules for the whole semester. So I can go through each one and see, you know, what's coming up next, or, you know, what's assignments coming up or projects. So I feel like the modules is the best for me.
I feel the same way. I agree with both of them. Like on the to-do list, the first thing that pops up when I log onto Canvas is good to have. But also, like I said, I'm very old school. So like I would like this instructors having like a task schedule that I can print out and just highlight on my own. That way I can see it with my own eyes. Like, and it's kind of like gives me a constant reminder that this and this is that.
All right, thanks, guys. I have another question kind of related to something Martina said earlier about when you feel like you have to teach yourselves, and we hear that a lot, I think, as instructors or from other students, it's like, oh, well, when it's online, I feel like I have to teach myself. So if you can elaborate, if you felt that way, any of you, what are the things that make you feel like you're teaching yourselves and like you're not getting anything from the instructor? Because I think, like, just as a little bit of context, like from the instructor side, we'll be like, well, we're giving them this video lecture or this PowerPoint. Maybe that's not when you feel like that. But I think instructors sometimes feel like they're giving a lot of resources, and then it's not received the same as the student. So that might be like an assumption we're making. So what is it that makes you feel like, oh, I'm teaching myself?
Well, for me, I'm taking a biology course that requires a lab, and I know I guess the instructors don't have much say into this, but our lab time has been cut by half. So usually our lab is now like 50 minutes as opposed to when it was like close to 2 hours, I believe. And she'll tell us like, go watch the videos, and by the time you walk into the door, you should already know what to do. Well, because of the time limit that we have, like she doesn't even have time sometimes to answer our questions and stuff. And I feel like that's what I'm teaching myself, because like I might like read all the material and stuff, but like I'm not a biology major in anything. I'm just trying to get courses out of the way for PA school. Like I run into a lot of questions, so sometimes I find myself having to like find the answers to it myself, and just that's where I feel like I'm teaching myself, because I'm not able to have that time in the lab for her to answer my questions. And sometimes she'll do answer questions, but then it runs into a problem. We're not able to finish that lab for the day. So yeah.
Um, yeah, I was a little bit worried about coming into the semester when I found out everything was going to be online, because I was worried about having to teach myself what was the quality of the education that I was going to receive, if everything was going to be online. And like I said, I am not an online person. I'd much rather be in the classroom, because I feel like I just get so much more out of that. Like the one thing, like I do, like when the professors kind of just leave us on our own and say, okay, here's everything that we're going to be doing for the semester, kind of just working your own pace and stuff. That's not the greatest for me, just because, if I have a quiz due and it's open book for chapter 11 through 13, I'm probably going to do that open book 11 through 13 right there and then. So, yeah.
So, okay. So with learning on my own, I believe when I say I'm teaching myself is when they give us the readings for the semester, and we go and buy the readings, and it's just set assignments that are due, and it's no interaction after that. It's just they gave us the reading, and here are your assignment dates. And so I feel like that's just really a laissez-faire type of learning, and that's not like helpful. It's not interesting. It's not, applicable. So I believe like if it's just more interaction, like I said earlier, it would be better.
Can I add one thing? The one thing that my teachers have been doing that was really great, we would have like a discussion board or a video to watch or something like that. Reflection to talk, whatever amount of chapters that were due for that period of time, and we had like a 3-section assignment. So we had to say, okay, key things that you learned, and this is in this section, so forth. So I'm able to apply it back to something that I have to turn in and get a response back. So that has been like fantastic for me. So, I'm really happy that my teachers have given us these videos for us to do at our own time, and then we do have an assignment to do with it, and then she gives us feedback on it also. Like, that's been fantastic. And a lot of the videos that we've been watching have been really informational, and just like really does get, like the ball rolling in your mind and stuff like that about, certain topics that we have to watch about and stuff.
Okay, well, we're coming to the end. I don't know if anyone has any final questions, but thank you all so much for being here, and just for you students, just for taking the time to give us this feedback. I got a lot out of this, and other people left positive comments in the chat box too. So thank you so much again to everyone. So this was great.
Thank you very much. Ashley, thank you. Martina, thank you. Nancy, thank you.
Thank
Tara,
you for having
thank
me.
you as well. It was a real pleasure for us to have you with us today. We learned so much. There was faculty here from every school and every college on campus. And the more that we can do to hear what works and doesn't work, the better we can plan our classes. So I want to say thank you to Tara for putting this panel together, and thank you to Martina, Ashley, and Nancy for speaking today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all.
And I want to say too, for our listeners, this has been recorded and it'll be posted tomorrow to Online Learning's YouTube channel. So faculty who are interested in hearing this again or sharing it with their colleagues can listen to it then. And I really just want to say again, thanks for joining us today. Have a great day.
Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.